Round 5 of the 2014 European Rally Championship on the Azores in the mid-Atlantic. After the Circuit of Ireland brought us high-speed tarmac, we're back on the loose around this mountainous volcanic outcrop. It's a Portuguese colony, and lots of the drivers here have got a wealth of experience on the roads. For the newcomers, those who don't rally here regularly, it has been spectacular and difficult in equal measure. The legendary stage around the dormant volcano, SATA Rallye, has been a real hit with the rally drivers and teams. Now we get to the final stage of the event, an event that is finely poised. It could go either way between two drivers. Well, there is the Azorean flag, the blue and white of the sea and the sky, and the local symbol, the eagle here, which soar above these vertiginous cliffs down which the drivers definitely do not want to be venturing. SATA Rallye, our championship leader, is not here this weekend for Skoda. Craig Breen is. No Sepp Wiegand, but fourth in the championship. Vitaly Griatsin has run into trouble this afternoon. Griatsin was looking set for a podium, but we might not get him in the 17th and final stage. It's the second run through the 21.3-kilometre Tronquera stage, and Craig Breen, yesterday's rally leader, out of the final televised stage, the last stage of the day yesterday, had an underbonnet fire. Extensive damage to the wiring loom means that his Peugeot 208 was unable to continue. Teammate Kevin Abring, who retired with the Simical mechanical woes in Greece on the Acropolis that Breen won, has been pushing on despite some dramas today, and he's in a neck-and-neck battle with the birthday boy from yesterday, Bernardo Souza, the local. And the Ford Fiesta versus the Peugeot 208 is an enticing battle. Griatsin looking for third place coming into the final stage. The Russian competes on a Latvian license. He was third, 2 minutes and 6 behind the leaders. Abring had a bit of a drama this morning, and then a massive drama at the end of the stage through the water splash. Aquaplaning off, somehow got away with that. Souza was fastest. That's the stage we're going into now, by the way. The final stage still has the water splash at the end. Souza was fastest through the stage this morning, and he's hoping to do the same this afternoon and go on to win it. But as you can see, the fog/cloud, whichever it is, from the Atlantic has closed down, and visibility may be a little bit at a premium. Those pictures from stage 16 earlier on, which they are just completing as we go to stage 17. So 2 long stages, that's 40+ kilometers out of the final fuel stop before they get to the end of the rally, could produce a sting in a tail. The balance, 5 seconds. 5.1 seconds between Souza and Abring. Rao up into third, Rego in fourth, and Robert Consoni, despite punctures and drive shaft failures yesterday, in fifth position. And it does look as though we have lost Vasily Griatsin. Russian driver was stopped in stage 16, so if he is still running, he'll have dropped right down the order. Sebastian Lefebvre will be one of the first drivers we see. He lies in 10th place. Potter Dolphins and Wales, and is that an eastern sperm whale or a right whale? I'm not sure which. Out in the Atlantic on their way to summer feeding. Some majestic views on and around this little volcanic archipelago, and we will have some majestic views from on board our top 10 competitors from the final stage of Rally Azores. Cars ready for the final stage of Rally Azores round 5 of the 2014 FIA European Rally Championship. We'll start with our first car on the road. That's Sebastian Lefebvre, the young man who is leading the junior European Rally Championship by some 10-12 minutes now. There has been a change for second place. Martin Haven, Andrew Coley in the booth. Listen, settle back and relax. This is 21 fascinating kilometers. Enjoy.
Droite 110 pour vite et 50 mètres. Gauche 92 tenir, gauche 92 tenir. Sur un droite 91 referme court terre tenir. Droite 91 referme court terre tenir. Sur un gauche 91. Pour un droite 100 court. Pour un droite 100 court. 80 mètres. 80
For a quick talk through the stage, 21 kilometres, very tight and twisty. Big elevation change, over 600 metres between the bottom and the top, and back down again over 700 metres above sea level. So a little bit of problem for the normally aspirated cars with the altitude. It is very twisty though. Well, now let's hear from Craig Breen, who was the rally leader last night before terminal fire destroyed the wiring loom on his Peugeot.
Referme tenir cours route, il est 92, sur un gauche 110 à fond. Gauche 110 à fond, il va mettre gauche 100. Gauche 100 moins rasé. Sur un gauche 100 moins rasé, sur un droite 102, referme 80. Droite 102, referme 80, 50 mètres.
Craig, we're here at the final stage of day, stage 17. You came out to have a look this morning. You're back here this afternoon, but shame you are stood here. What happened?
Yeah, I really enjoyed myself this morning, first of all, so I decided to come back. I think our job was safe enough, so. But yeah, of course, we had some difficulties yesterday. We had a mechanical failure. We're not exactly quite sure what happened yet, but there was a small fire and some of the wiring loom was damaged, and unfortunately that was the end of our rally. And these things happen with a new car, and I'm sure everyone will do the best they can to move the situation forward, and we'll go to the next rally and see what happens.
That's it, and obviously your junior teammate Lefebvre in the stage on his route to win the ERC FIA Juniors today.
Yeah, you know, Stefan has done a very good job this weekend. I think he's led from start to finish, and he's an exceptional talent. You know, like I said earlier, he's won the first round of the Junior World Championship, and it looks like he's going to get another Junior European Rally win under his win as well. So, yeah, an exceptional talent. He's got the backing of the FFSA, and yeah, I'm sure he'll go a long way. And for sure, he's doing a cracking job this weekend. And it's not often we get to see a front-wheel drive car on first in the road, and you know, even a more rare occurrence, a junior car first in the road. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity for him and for the people around the world to see him driving. He's really doing a good job.
You can catch up with all the action from the whole rally on Tuesday evening, don't forget, on Eurosport. Also, you can catch up tonight with what happens, the final outcome of the Junior ERC this evening. Chris Ingram, the British driver, lies in second place in the Junior ERC, and that will be a big result for him, Andrew Coley, if he can bring that home in one piece. Because this, you know, from your viewpoint and from mine, this does not look like an easy rally to finish, never mind to finish strongly in.
Well, I was looking through the guys who are lying, you know, in the top 10, and there's barely, I don't think there's anyone who hasn't had an issue. We've had punctures, we've had offs, you know, half spins. You know, some of these rallies, you get to the end and there's 3 or 4 guys at the front who are fighting it out. None of them had a problem. This is all about the fact that everyone's had a problem, is actually why it's still close, because Abring and Breen had run off into the distance. So yeah, anyone who makes it through to the end, it's a great result. Be good for Ingram to get a second, certainly. I think he was leading the juniors in Ireland before, unfortunately, the car came to a bit of a sticky end. So this final stage, though, you know, I don't want to jinx anyone, least of all Ingram. We've seen it is extremely tricky. This bit is wide. When you get into the forest in just a few moments' time, it's going to get wetter and more cut up, more dark and light, and it's going to be much harder. Yeah,
so a real challenging final stage, and that's exactly what you want as well. As a driver, you like the challenging stuff.
Who was it this morning? Was it Cashtoe that said it was Jurassic Park, I think, wasn't it? And that's just about how it looks when you get up there. It's absolutely stunning. More cloud this afternoon than there was this morning. I don't know what the chances of rain are, but that really would chuck an extra element into the mix towards the end of the day.
As long as it rains for all of them in the same place vaguely, then at least it'll be even. But what a stunning scene that is. With Stéphane Lefebvre, final stage of the Rallye Açores, round 5 of the European Rally Championship for 2014. Junior driver in his Peugeot 208. And these Peugeots have been introduced at the beginning of this year, Andrew Coley. Not yet a bulletproof proposition. We've seen at least one retire pretty much on every event they've entered.
Certainly the 2.8, the R5 version has been very tricky indeed. We were talking to Breen, of course, before, and he's had loads of problems. The R2 version has been used in things like the 2.8 Cup in France and has been around for a little bit longer. And you know, Peugeot Sport, they will get on top of it, absolutely. They did with the S2000, and they've got the car out there and they're competing. And you know, Breen and Abring, unfortunately, are having to meet the brunt of those problems. We're on board now with...
Speaking of the S2000, on board with a 207 S2000, this is Jean-Michel Rowe. And again, on the early part of the stage, you can still looks like sort of a road you could drive down. All right, you know, it's a bit of a country road.
It's got drainage, hasn't it? And it's, you know, it's
Yeah.
obviously used to access houses, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
literally, as you went to the break, they come round a corner, and it's like a switch. It goes from this to a forest, very narrow track.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we might stay on board with Raoul for you to see that. But it's an absolutely amazing transition.
It almost looks like the snowy mountains in Australia, actually in Victoria, which are, you know, full of massive fern trees and so on. It's got that real Jurassic Park look to it. Just in front of him on the road, two Portuguese drivers in their Mitsubishi Lancers. They're in the R4 category. This is Ruben Rodriguez, and he was the quicker of. He wasn't actually, was he? No, he was. They did pretty well on this stage because it's got some decent speed in it. It was Luis Miguel Rego, who's behind him on the road, who was one of the very quickest through the stage, first time through this morning.
Those fans we saw a moment ago, we think they've been on that outcrop all day, don't we, Martin? They must have run out of beer by now, I imagine.
Oh, I shouldn't think so. Come on, a rally fan not preparing? I don't think so. I think they've probably got a little hatful of Scotch eggs left as well.
It really reminds me of the famous stretch of road in Monte Carlo with the drop off the side and the Armco barrier and the steep face next to it. You know, completely different, really, but it's just got that same, somehow, special rally character to it.
Monaco Tour de Course.
Gryazin, weren't expecting to see him.
Yeah, we did hear that he was having trouble. In fact, it's not that he hadn't left the stage, it's that he had lost a lot of time in the stage. We lost Bruno Magales today, who retired early on. First stage of the day. He retired early yesterday as well. So Magales, who has had lots of good success here, had a really tough time. Reaction down in 24th time.
That was 22 minutes on the previous stage. Yeah. He finished 24th. So somehow he's got out of that and managed to make up enough time on the road section then to slot himself back into the running order and claim his bit of TV time. But yeah. 24 minutes of time loss sees him currently sitting 19th after the previous stage, but that's before a bunch of cars have come through, so he's going to get demoted from there. It's a bit of a nightmare for Gryazin because he was doing well, and as well with the championship, Martin, you know, the guys who were sitting, I mean, Esapekka Lappi and Skoda, who've chosen not to come here, have had a bit of a result because Abring has had a shocker of a season so far, so even if he wins here, he's not going to get up near it. Breen was the one who really stood to capitalise on Lappi not being here, and unfortunately that hasn't worked out. So Gryazin again was in a good position, I think, in the championship to move up. And,
well, he's in fourth and could have moved up to third, but I don't think that final drama is going to help. Well, say final. The drama on the penultimate stage is going to help him. Well, this is Luis Miguel Rego, Antonio Costa, his co-driver, and as we said, he did a pretty good job earlier on. Now, I think it was his car that had the flag, the national colours, drifting off the back wing this morning's stage. He's obviously either lost it or been told to take it off. Obviously didn't pass scrutineering.
He was 13th quickest this morning. So it was just a couple of, 2 or 3 Group N cars ahead of him. Pushkar, Teodoso, who we haven't seen, and Valet as well.
Rent-a-car Ilha Verde, that is the local name, the Green Island for this, for the Azores, and you can see why, can't you? On board with Jean-Michel Raoult.
I wonder how many of their rental cars ended up doing the wrecking, Martin.
Not many, not many. I think they're probably quite aware of that potential disaster.
One thing you can see from this morning is the road hasn't cut up as much as I thought it might. It was very wet, and this sort of colour we're seeing right now, the orangey reddy looking mud. And if you look, it's actually dried out, you know, through the day where the sun has got some of the tracks. We can see here paler sections where the track has dried out, the gravel has dried out. And in fact, the road's held up pretty well. There's a couple of hairpins which we saw which were very wet this morning. And obviously that's the point at which the car is most heavily on the brakes with the most steering lock and then the most gas. And so you'll see those get cut up more than the quicker corners. But really, I think the road's held up pretty well. So the drivers were complaining about 2 stages previous, stage 15, that the road was in dreadful condition. And we haven't seen that so far, though, of course, we are only about halfway through.
Yeah, so but we have still had pretty much 40 cars go through the stage already this morning, so it has held up very well. There's a lot of British rally drivers who would be very pleased to see a forest track when they're starting down in the 40s on the rally, looking as good as that. our heli pilot and especially our heli cameraman are really enjoying themselves there, aren't they? They're looking for the beauty shots. We were watching them earlier shooting one of the local eagles that was hovering around, flying with them, and picked out a whale. And
it's pretty awesome, isn't it? You'll not get that Brands Hatch, unfortunately. And whilst I love Brands Hatch, it's missing whales and eagles.
Well, there might be a couple of whales out there. I don't know. Who can tell?
Now, on board with Gryazin, something that I've just spotted, of course, Gryazin's problems. Gryazin was on the podium. Whilst he's flying in this stage, we know he's lost 22 minutes, and in fact, that's going to mean that Raoul, who we're looking at in the 207S2000, is actually on the podium, and that's a great result for him.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's not going to change. And in fact, Robert Consony, in his Peugeot 207, who had drive shaft failure and 2 punctures yesterday, he'll be in the top half dozen too. So, I mean, that's, again, it just shows, like he said yesterday, tomorrow can only be better.
Yeah.
And he wasn't wrong, yeah. No, it could only be better. Congrats, in 5Ks in, he's already a few seconds up.
They're able to chuck the car about a bit more, Martin. If you look this morning, everybody's been a little bit tentative on the brakes, particularly pitching the car, and we saw a few people misjudge it, get understeer, and then they get on the gas and then get oversteer, and the car was snapping between the two. Whereas here, if you look at Gryazin, he's really able to commit to the throttle earlier and to commit to the brakes harder and really chuck the car about.
Well, there's a lot, especially in the juniors, actually, there's lots of drivers who have done almost no rallies, and certainly done almost no rallies at all on gravel. When you come from Belgium, there aren't gravel rallies, there's just tarmac. So there's a lot of learning going on, and I'm sure Gryazin, getting used to the individual nature of these stages. Once you've been through it once, we're into the day now, he's starting to get a feel for it, where the grip might be, where the grip might not be. And obviously they will have massaged their notes as well, presumably after the first stage, and he's just having a bit of a think about it.
It's a bit of a shame for him, really, isn't it? When you look how much the car's flying now, I'm not entirely sure what happened to him on the previous stage. I'll try and find out, but to lose 22 minutes, that's more than a puncture unless it fell off the jack, or they've had some other problem, but obviously it wasn't terminal, because he's absolutely flying in here, but it's too late.
It's all too late. On board with Kevin Abring, this is the battle for victory then.
40 straight, short left 10, in right 10, and 20, right 27. In left apple, in 20 metres, slight left narrow, in right 11, in short left 18, 20 metres, left 30, keep in, and 20 metres, short, slight left fast, in slight right maybe, 30, right 12, in 10 metres, short left 23, opens maybe, in 20 metres.
Just an update then on Gryazin. He was stuck in a ditch from the sounds of things, from the information that's coming in, and lost 22 minutes. So obviously managed to find enough spectators, but you can imagine if you've been to a rally, a major rally, you'll find spectators everywhere. If you look at the scenery here, they're not, these guys here are out and outcrop in the middle of the stage. You'll see a whole load at the end of the stage, but there's nobody in between. If you get stuck, that's it. To be honest, if you get stuck, it's highly likely that they're going to have to stop the stage.
Well, as we watch Kevin Abring, let's hear from his teammate Craig Breen, who was the rally leader yesterday, but is watching from stage finish with Julian Porter.
In 20 metres, right 13 fast, in left 14, keep it in, and opens, slight left at 4, in right 10, clip twice, 50, slowing before slight right narrows, in short left 11, and 20 metres, left 26, keep in, 40 metres, right 13, in 10 metres, early left 27, keep in, and opens, slight left maybe, in a slight right round, for short left 11, in short right 14, don't, opens, in 20 metres, left 24, opens, in short.
Greg, we've just seen the first split there, 4.9 Ks, and Kevin a long way down. Do you think that's wrong, or is there something that is Suits on a massive push?
I don't know, something doesn't quite add up. I'd find it hard to believe, because we're watching this onboard here and everything seems to be okay, and unless something's gone very much pear-shaped in the first kilometres of the stage, I'd find it hard to believe. I feel a little bit like his mother here watching it. I'm genuinely nervous. I really want him to do it. So, please God, it's not a wrong time, and it is a wrong time, and it's just some glitch. But we'll wait and see.
You were actually watching that, saying he's on the limit, he's pushing. You can see it. So it was a surprise when that time came up.
Yeah, no, you can see the car is definitely moving a lot more than it was on the first stage, and you can see he's neat and tidy where he needs to be, but he's definitely using all the road and a bit more there, just as I'm watching here. So, when you're in a situation at 5 seconds, you've just got to give it your all, and I think he's doing a great job so far.
Everything crossed clearly at the Peugeot team. Abraham losing ground here. This is where it counts. This is, if he's not ahead, he's going to lose the rally.
Well, what Craig's saying is quite right. We are watching him flat out. Obviously, we haven't followed him from the start of the stage. He is showing plus 13 here. The ERC have tweeted that he's plus 13. It can be a timing glitch. We'll only know truly when he gets to the end of the stage for absolute sure. I guess at the second split, we're going to get a better idea. He could have had a half spin. He had 2 half spins on this stage this morning. He says he's not taking any risk, Martin, but if you look at the times, he was 20 seconds down after special stage 14. He cut that by 10, although Sousa had a puncture on 15. That was down to 5.1 prior to this stage. So he knows he's got a chance of winning this. But, as you say, it's this stage.
Lefebvre comes through the flying finish, beetles up the hill, absolutely Harry flatters. And we will catch up with the first man out of the stage. This is Stéphane Lefebvre, who just needs to make it now to final service to win the junior ERC here. A really impressive performance from the French youngster. Julian Porter down there. Let's hear from him. He's considering it a victory, and so he should.
In right up 4. Caution, left 11, keep in right left. In right 11, round.
You're going to be relieved now. Winner of the ERC junior category in SATA Rallye Açores.
Yes, it's very fantastic weekend for us. I make the perfect race. I have lose only one time, the best time. It's very fantastic. The car is very good, and today is very difficult for us for open the road, and it's a fantastic result for us.
And in French, comment c'était, bravo.
Un week-end parfait, on a vraiment très bien roulé, on a fait quasiment tous les meilleurs temps sauf un seul dans une super spéciale, donc vraiment très content. L'auto a super bien marché, on l'a très bien réglé, donc
well, Andy, he does need to look happy with that. As he says, only one stage in the 17 he didn't set the fastest time, no major dramas, he kept it on the road and he kept his head, and that's not easy. I mean, this is a tough rally.
Well, not only that, he's opened the road today, Martin. He had a lead of about 1 minute 38 at the start today, and he extended that lead despite sweeping the road in a 2-wheel drive car. It's a great performance. He's got the FFSA behind him. They were behind Loeb, they were behind Ogier, they're behind another new guy called Chardonnay, another Sebastian. So, everything's heading in the right direction. He's with Peugeot.
All he's got to do is change his name from Stéphane to Sebastian, and he's made.
16. In left hand fast. And left hand flip.
Ruben Rodriguez comes through the stage as the fastest man.
Abraham just clipped the bank there, Martin. Sorry,
did,
just
yeah.
a tiny little mistake. I wonder if he's pushing to make up time.
Rodriguez, of course, 4-wheel drive in his Mitsubishi Evo, so likely to be quicker than the junior car. And Abraham is undoubtedly pushing. He wants to win the rally. More importantly, perhaps, he wants to finish it. So there is a very fine knife edge on which he's got to balance this.
In right 12, keep in, opens. In left 13, opens.
Now you might notice that his rear bumper is missing, but that's missing from an earlier stage, so that isn't from the mistake here. He came to the end of a stage earlier on, they said your bumper's missing, and he said, I'm not pushing, I don't want to break anything, we're all good basically. And he has continued to take time out of Sousa, and the gap is just 5.1. Look how narrow it is through here as well. Okay, now that's interesting. Abraham showing at +1.
Well, if the first gap was correct and the second one is correct, then he has definitely either found a little more from his tyres as the stage has progressed. The previous stage that they were in was a 20+ kilometre stage. This is 21+. So there is a degree of tyre wear that's got to be factored in, obviously.
Or maybe the first split was wrong. Interesting to see what they've been fed in the cars, wouldn't it?
Now see, for the team, if the first one was right and the second one is wrong, that's even worse. Here is his rival, this is Sousa. Bernardo Sousa leading the rally going into the final stage. Just 5.1 seconds in it though.
And a second in it in between the second intermediate, so this is going to be incredibly tight, isn't it? This is for the win, live.
Yeah, this is Ford versus Citroën, this is the Fiesta in front. And of course, Sousa, more than anything else, even if he can't win this on pace, and he accepts, I think, that the Peugeot is the quicker car, what he doesn't want is to be walking out of the final stage. What he wants is to be standing on the podium.
He's not had great results here, Sousa, in the past either. I was looking through his results. The first 3 times he came, he retired in 06, 07 and 08. He was 10th in 9 and 10, didn't do it in 11 and 12. In 13, he was sitting 5th, and then he binned it. So for Sousa, this would be a great result in the Azores, but of course he's really looking for the perfect result, the top step of the podium.
Luis Miguel Rigo is out of the stage as well in his Evo. So 2 Evo 9s in the R4 class. They are battling for supremacy with each other. That's the kind of Super Group N. You don't have to be able to understand the pace notes to appreciate the commitment of the driver and his delivery. Jean-Michel Rowe comes out to the final water splash, through the flying finish and down to the end, and that should seal him into a podium finish. That's a result perhaps the Frenchman might have thought was beyond his grasp in a 207 Super 2000 car at the beginning of day one. But there's been so many twists and turns here that anybody who gets the finish line is pretty much guaranteed a good result.
Jean-Michel, a third place podium, fantastic result.
Yeah, third. Yes, I'm marvelous, yeah. Yeah, sure. So, yeah. Yes, I cannot say nothing. But which pilot had the problem?
Racing.
Oh, yeah, she. So, yes, I take the place, but yes, I'm very happy. So, but it's a very surprise for me. Excuse me, but I don't have the word to say that. I think all the team, Nareto and the fact.
Well, he may not have as much English as he's got French, but he was very eloquent there. Surprised, clearly, Andrew Coley, with the news that Griatin had stopped in the stage, because he would have been running on the road before him, and so would not have passed his car stuck in the previous stage. So that was news to him, and he comes through in the podium.
Great job. I mean, he was the IRC two-wheel drive champion in 2011, but up until now, you know, he's been sticking in things like 10th. I mean, he had an 8th in Acropolis, which is pretty good. You know, but on the Yana Rally, he was 17th. Third is a mega result, I think. You know, appreciate there's been problems for other people, but the rally's the same for everyone, and he's got the job done in very, very difficult stages. Great drive.
That's what they say, to finish first.
Abring clears the first of the points where he had a problem on the run of this stage this morning. I think that's where he had the almost half spin, just the water splash to go.
Closing a few hundred metres of this final stage of Rallye Açores for Kevin Abring. Passes the area where he drifted wide into the trees first time through. at the feet of Autosport editor Charles Bradley. And now he's just got to survive the water splash and make it to the flying finish. And then we've got to wait for Sousa. Sousa can be up to 5 seconds slower, no more. Through he goes. This time no dramas for Everett. I thought he was going to have a monster shunt on the first days. I really did think he was going to barrel roll it. And I'm sure he did too.
Right.
Oh, wow. 17:41.6. OK, there is the target time. 46.6 will do it. 46.7 will tie it. 46.8 will lose it for Sousa. Wow. This is going to be very close. Julian Porter's down there with Kevin Abring. He doesn't yet know who's going to win this rally. He's going to have to wait. Is he going to have to wait 2 minutes, more than 2, or less than 2?
Asking about splits, we have splits. The first one you were 12 down. I don't know what happened at the start, but after 10.8 you were only 1 down with half to go. Big push.
12 down, it's I'm not sure. I don't think it's correct, so it can't be. But I had a nice pace in the last loop. I tried to do that the first loop as well, but the car surprised me a few times, and now I'm really happy about the car, so I can drive without any surprises. And if it's enough, I don't know. Obviously, I tried, but
the last split we're getting 2 seconds quicker.
Yeah, all right. We will see.
You're going to wait, yeah?
Yeah.
Not sure what to make of it. Absolutely confident, as a driver would be, that the first split was wrong. So I think we can take that as given. You know, he said, no way. He knows that. It's 2 seconds, you know, and he needs 5. He went 21 seconds quicker. Abring, no, he went a lot quicker than that, sorry. He did 18:14 this morning. So he went 21 seconds quicker than Mora, who won the stage this morning. So he was going very quickly, but so is Sousa. He's not far from the finish now.
Sousa's only 2 behind at the last split. If he just maintains that, he wins Rallye Açores by 3 seconds. It's down to the final few hundred meters. He's got to beat a 41.6 or a 46.6. He has won it. He has beaten him on the road. He has won the Rallye Açores. That is epic. 1.1 seconds in the final stage. The margin of victory, 6.2 for Bernardo Sousa.
They've just realised. Brilliant.
Oh, bless him, bless him. Sousa in tears. Abring goes to offer his congratulations. Give me a minute. I was just going to leave that and let it run. It's going to be a minute or 2, I think, before he's composed enough to talk to Julian Porter. We will wait. Julian will wait. What a great moment for Bernardo Sousa. Yesterday, 27. Today, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Bernardo Sousa, from 0 on Thursday to hero on Saturday afternoon on your birthday weekend. You've just won the 2014 SATA Rallye Açores.
I'm speechless. Since we had the issues on shakedown and we had no order to start position, a good start position, we thought that it was going to be very hard, but day by day, stage by stage, we started to believe that it was possible. During this day, the stages and the fans pushing and cheering so much. There's no words that I can say that thank the team that did an amazing job. Hugo was always pushing me and saying that we would win the rally. So it's an incredible feeling. It's a dream come true. This is one of my favorite rallies, as I said before. And last year, the win was blown away by a mistake of mine, and now it's my time, and I hope this win brings me much more in the future.
Proper emotional, and rightly so, rightly so. Major win for him. Yeah, that's how somebody got up the top of that mountain on the right-hand side there, 1 horsepower. And Andrew Coley, a fitting end to a great battle between the two of them. It came down to just seconds, and it wasn't mechanical problems. It wasn't a drama with the car. It was just a good, straight, old-fashioned fight. And Abraham will win again, no question. For Sousa winning on the Azores, where he was born and bred. Sensational.
Absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic result. You can see what it meant to him. His brain.
Stage, you watched it all live on Eurosport with the splits, and teammate Kevin Abraham, all your willing and wishing wasn't quite enough. What do you think went wrong?
It's difficult to say. You know, I don't think you can doubt that Kevin didn't give it his all. You know, you could see his expression when he came to the end of the stage. Look at the car, still came to the finish. Still a fantastic result. Congratulations to Bernardo, he done a great job, but it's good that the car made it to the end on a difficult rally like this. And no, I think Kevin can still be happy. We both showed some very good speed this weekend, and we look forward to the next rally.
Just shows how competitive this championship is, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes you can have local specialists like this, and I think, you know, Kevin has been fast in all the rallies so far this year in Greece, Ireland, and again here. So I think that's what's more important. You know, it's to be fast at every rally. And you know, I think if you were to bring some of the local people from each rally to each round, it wouldn't be quite the same. But you know, I think everybody can be quite proud in the team this weekend. They've done a good job.
Well, that's one of the joys of rallying across the globe, isn't it? You know, you used to go to the safari, you'd have the local experts. You go to Finland, you've got the local experts. Wherever you go, you'll get the local experts. And for guys like Abraham, for guys like Craig Breen there, who are doing the entire championship, Kaito Kajtanovic, Gratsin, matching yourself against the guys who know the stages intimately and have got that knowledge, that's what it's about. And when you can beat them, then you know you've done a big job. But today, 6.2 seconds is the margin of victory overall in the rally. 1.1 ahead on the final stage. He wins Tronquera. He wins the Rallye Açores as the cloud rolls in over the top of the mountain from the Atlantic. Confirmation of the margin of victory. Bernardo Sousa's Ford Escort. That's another one chalked up on the board for M Sport. So congratulations to all at Dovenby Hall and Peugeot, no question. We'll be back. The old and the new cars, both on the podium. And Rego, in his R4 Mitsubishi, again, could be just off the podium.
A word for Abraham, you know, this would have been his first major event win, and he's had problems with the car elsewhere. Everybody's had their problems here. What was lovely was we've seen on Eurosport so many times, we've had live stages, and just when we thought the fight was going to go to the last stage, someone's had a problem. They all had their problems early, and we came to this last stage with a fantastic fight, and just the very best live rally you could possibly get. You could see how disappointed Abraham was, and you could see what it meant to Sousa, and that was just fantastic. When they realised, Martin, at the finish control, and he's saying, we've won, yeah, and they cheered in the car, just brilliant. You know, you can't beat it.
Well, you can expect the Peugeots to go very strongly again next time out at Ypres, but, you know, Fast Freddy, who knows what he's going to be producing. And the Colin McRae flat-out trophy, I don't want to second-guess anything, but there might be a very happy Portuguese receiving that, or perhaps Stefan Lefebvre, our junior championship winner. Don't forget, we have the highlights of the juniors this evening as well, and you can catch up with Inside ERC on Tuesday. Till then, from Andrew Coley and me, Martin Haven, thanks for being with us. Bye now.